Hello, everybody. I'm Jessica Angel from artproject.io. I'm here today with the Maker team and the Foundation team to do a demonstration on how Dai is being used to purchase digital art and physical goods on the Foundation app. This demo is in the context of the Vancouver Biennale Art and Technology Expo, Art Project 2020, and it will also be featured in the demonstration series at artproject.io. So I'm going to give the floor to Jen, who's going to tell you more about Maker and Dai, and then Lawrence and Kayvon are going to tell you about Foundation and how artists are using this app to monetize. So Jen, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Jessica. Hi, my name is Jen Senhaji. I work at the Maker Foundation on the business development team. And so what I do is essentially work with different partners who can use parts of the Maker protocol or our Dai stablecoin to help enhance the value of what their application is doing. So very simply, Dai is a stablecoin. What that means is it's equal to $1 US. It's off-pegged to the US dollar. And it's instrumental in what we call decentralized finance. So giving someone anywhere in the world access to the Maker protocol where they could generate Dai and have this value represented in over 800 applications where Dai lives across. So applications like exchanges, crypto exchanges, wallets, different lending, borrowing protocols where somebody could use Dai in different ways. And more recently, Dai has been being used in blockchain-based games, which is really exciting. And for our conversation today, within the digital art world and NFT space, where we're seeing a lot of new innovation from both artists and developers who are finding ways to enhance the ability for artists to connect directly with a global audience, and for that global audience of collector or art enthusiasts to more easily transact, buy, sell, and trade digital art and goods across the blockchain. So today, I really want to spend most of the time focusing on Foundation and what they've created as a way for art to be discovered and to be purchased in new ways. So I guess just for the purpose of this conversation, if you're new to cryptocurrency, one little thing to keep in mind is there are many types of cryptocurrencies. The most famous is probably Bitcoin. Bitcoin is volatile, so the price goes up and down on any given day. Stable coins are stable in their price. Dai is just that. So Dai is really this tool to help people who are using blockchain technology to manage and control the prices that they're working with. So with that, I'll kick it over to Kayvon, who will give you an introduction to his platform, Foundation.
Thank you, Jen. My name is Kayvon, the founder and CEO of Foundation. A little bit about myself. I've actually been interacting with Jen and the MakerDAO team for many years now. This is not my first project with them. I started in crypto 3 years ago, and Dai in many ways was just being born, and was barely standing on its own legs, and it's been phenomenal to see it just grow into such an important part of what I believe will be the internet at large. And then on my end, I've been involved in the decentralized finance space for over 2 years. In fact, saw it be born from scratch, and personally was the most excited about how blockchain and cryptocurrency could affect the cultural space. And that's really how I started Foundation, which I believe is really helping to bridge what is a very, very exciting and innovative part of the internet with blockchain and the art and cultural worlds, which I think benefit greatly from the ability to transact, the ability to track provenance, the ability to see very clear ownership records, the ability to kind of create internet-based communities around art. These are all incredibly powerful features that blockchain enables. And Foundation is really putting itself in the middle of those two worlds and bridging those two worlds and trying to create an experience that we think is really special. And part of that is using DAI. The early kind of crypto art, digital art space adopted Ethereum as its kind of primary currency. And as Jen mentioned, that has volatility. And what causes the hiccups is the fact that the currency is going up and down. So if an artist sells a piece and it's transacted in ETH, they actually could potentially lose money if the underlying asset that they transacted in goes down in value. It also makes it very difficult for collectors to know what the price points were for various pieces. And so you'll often see pieces transacted in the native Ethereum currency, then listed at their US dollar equivalent. And so what DAI does in this equation is it maintains the decentralization, the fairness, the ability for anyone with an internet connection to participate in these markets while removing that volatility that impacts transactions, makes it more complicated, makes it more confusing for people. And so Foundation is chosen as really a source of innovation in its product experience. Everything is denominated in DAI on our site. All of our smart contract infrastructure, all of our pieces are denominated in DAI. That allows both buyers and sellers to have a stable currency to transact in and to reference as they build their collections and as they build their reputations and records on the blockchain, which is a very, very, very powerful feature that we really believe is the future of art collecting and digital art in general. And so, to make this more concrete, we're going to do a demo. I'm going to hand it off in a moment to our senior interface engineer, Lawrence, who's really been actively building what we consider one of the best experiences using DAI to buy and discover art. And the one thing I would also note is it's not just digital art, it's also physical art. And he'll show you in that demo how we bridge those worlds, because a lot of people right now don't understand how a digital art piece can have value. We believe that is an absolute future that is emerging at a clip that we couldn't have imagined even 6 months ago, now that we're all kind of stuck inside as a result of the quarantine. But we also know that people really do also value physical work. And so we allow artists to do both. We think that's really special. It also allows collectors to collect both just the way they want. And it all happens in DAI, in a stable currency, on a blockchain. Anyone with an internet connection can access. It's a very, very exciting experience. And I'm going to hand it off to Lawrence now to show you it.
Cool. Thank you very much, Kayvon. I'm Lawrence. I sort of lead up the user interface here at Foundation, and relative to the rest of you, I actually have much less experience in the crypto and blockchain space, which has been an exciting challenge to be sort of thrown into something and trying to untangle some of the complexities and make it easy to understand just for the everyday user, those artists that are sort of new to this space. So what I'm going to do is to run through the product, and I'll really start off with just looking at the homepage here. And this message you see right here, this is Culture's Stock Exchange. It's something we had as a sort of core message from the get-go. And that's a very exciting thing for people, because they think stocks and shares is this thing for sort of rich investors and publicly traded companies. But we've taken that idea and we've given it to people who create things, whether it be art, music. You can let your imagination kind of run wild with it. So that's sort of one aspect of the product that I'm going to show off, and I'll get to a little bit later. We'll sort of see how it actually behaves like a stock exchange. But I thought it'd be nice just to quickly have a little explore around some of the art that is on here and some of the creators that we have launched with over the last 6 months or so. So on the homepage, we've got some featured creators. These all dropped very, very recently. So it's just earlier this week that we launched with the entire suite of over 20 digital artists who are top of their field, very well known, verified creators. And I'll be digging into some of those in a sec, but essentially all of the creators that we have some of these featured artworks. So the artwork is the notion of a sort of a digital art piece. And these are very, very high quality pieces that sort of tie into our foundation universe, as our curator Lindsay likes to call it. And we've been having lots of exciting activity happening on these. I'll go into a demo of actually placing a live bid on one of those in a second. But what we have beyond the digital art is also baked in the physical world. So here we have some featured physical products, and these span a big range from, this is essentially a blanket made from bytecode from a blockchain made by an artist called Glitch Textiles. We've also got an online clothing store built for the sort of financial digital age. That was the first brand that launched. And we've also got some prints and things like that as well. We just dropped a print earlier today, which I'm going to show as well. I'm going to go through purchasing, but it's absolutely incredible to look at. So sort of toying this physical digital duality, and that's quite an exciting thing, given that the digital side is very hot off the press. So, for example, here we've collaborated with an interior furniture designer who made a custom matchbox, and this has been traded. And we've got Grant Spanier, who's a famous photographer, collaborates with Kodak, launched a film double exposure print, which did really well. And we've got just a fantastic range of things here. Another one here, this is one that's exciting for me, is in the music vertical. We launched a limited edition vinyl record. This is what we just launched earlier today, literally about 2 hours ago. And that's already sold 41 pieces. And you can see this price has increased by 134%. So that gives you a little bit of a feel for the stock exchange, with the ebbs and the flows of prices moving up and down. So that's how the physical side of the foundation works. It's very much like a stock exchange, in that the more of something people buy, the price goes up. So it leans into that supply and demand phrase that you hear so often in the stock world. So what I thought would be nice to do is to show off the digital art. This is internally in the foundation team just our favorite page to look at. It showcases all of the pieces in just a very immersive way. It gives a feel for this kind of bidding system that underpins how these work. So with the piece that launched earlier today, it was by an artist called Alicia, and she's actually based in Montreal in Canada. And I thought it'd be really interesting to take that as an example and run through how a bid would work for that. So Alicia being the owner of that NFT, that digital art piece, and me, the buyer, who wants to put in a bid there and to then become the owner of that. And something to mention here with all of these pieces is that they have an edition of one, so they're limited, very, very limited, and people really love the sort of buying and the trading of these tokens. So I'll just take a second to scroll through the rest of what we have here. This is an interesting piece here. This is by an artist called Pack, who is featured on, it's quite prolific in the NFT world. But as I said before, all of these artists are really top of their field, and we're really, really happy about bringing this as our sort of initial set of art onto Foundation. So this is the piece that we launched earlier with Alicia. And I thought it'd be good to just run through a bid flow of how that would look on the site. There we go. So we've built this product page just to be really immersive. So to really put the piece front and center, people to be able to go and explore that. Alicia's style is sort of very almost sort of psychedelic, almost looks like these sort of oil slick, oil spill, dip dye kind of art pieces. And she's produced this one exclusively for Foundation. And most of the pieces here have a pretty high start price, sort of tailoring towards a more high end of the market. So with Foundation, you can go in, you can explore. You don't need to register an account to go and look and have a little rummage around and see what takes your fancy. But to actually go in and place a bid, you'd need an account. So for that, I'm going to be using a tool called Metamask, which is essentially a bank account, but for cryptocurrency. And the nice thing about it is portable. With your bank account, it's owned by a bank, but this, you are the owner, and you can take that cryptocurrency that you own and you can port it to other places, and it just gives you a lot more autonomy to do really what you want with it. So if I go to login, I'm just going to connect to Metamask. And Metamask is this little fox icon that you can see in my browser. So it's installed as an extension. I'm going to tell it that I want to connect. It's going to sign me in. I'm going to head back to that explore page, find Alicia's piece of art again, and I'm just going to run through a bid on that. So this one only launched literally a couple of hours ago, and I'm going to be the first one to place a bid. So I think Alicia will be very happy about that. And essentially in here, you're able to place a bid of any amount you want. And the suggested start price here is $500. And so that's what I'm going to go ahead and place a bid for. So the flow that we have here is very straightforward. You put in the amount you want to bid, you confirm it. And what happens now is I confirm this. And just like you would with a sort of banking app, you want to just sign this off. So it's almost like putting a signature on a check. I am just going to confirm I want this transaction to go through. Now, one of the nice things here is behind the scenes, there is a huge amount of stuff happening, and we've wrapped that up into just a very, very simple and quick flow. So you saw that happening just then. I didn't even get to finish speaking before it finished, because we've built this on a system that at times is faster than even the Visa card network itself. And the cost of the transaction, although it didn't show you, was fractions of a cent. So this is a very, very exciting thing from a transactional standpoint, is we can put a huge amount of these transactions through at a very low cost and a very, very high speed, which goes against a lot of what you see in the blockchain world. People think it is very slow and very expensive to run. So we've managed to engineer our way onto what's called level 2, L2, in the blockchain world, and that just gives us this really, really good speed and low transaction cost. So I've placed a bid on Alicia's piece. You can see it's confirmed there. If I head back to my account, go into my activity, you can see I've then got my bid here, and I am the highest current bidder. So this is a bidding system. This will now send an email to Alicia, and she'll say, you've got a bid, do you want to accept it? We're encouraging creators to keep their bids open, to let these sort of auction battles play over time. But essentially, I'm going to get outbid at some point on this. This is a very highly sought after piece. So that's how the digital side essentially works. Now, to show you what the physical side looks like, it is very similar to what I just showed. And I'm going to give Alicia the limelight again. I'm going to buy her physical product. And this is what she is selling. So this is a physical print that it's just incredible. I bought one myself earlier, and I can't wait to put it up on my wall. I'm going to be walking around it constantly, looking side to side. You can see here, it's yeah, it's pretty cool. So the interesting thing with the digital, the physical side of the products is, as you buy these, the price goes up. So if you look here, just earlier, we started the sales at $67, and they are now currently at 173. So if you look at a curve of amount of products sold over time, they will just steadily increase. And this creates a really nice dynamic with the market, like a hype-driven, got a rush to get in there, people sitting, waiting, refreshing their browsers to get in on these drops, because you want to be the first there to buy it at a low price. And you've also got the option to then maybe sell it off later for more money. So that's an interesting aspect that people don't really think about, the notion of buying something and then selling it again for more money in a sort of a dynamic market. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy this physical print. So here we come to a sort of a different looking screen. And one of the interesting things here is, although it is a single print, I can actually buy 0.1 of this if I wanted to. So you can buy like very small denominations of something physical. So for example, if you had like a very, very expensive product that you wanted to buy a little piece of that, you could. In this case, I'm just going to buy the one. Just like before, I just come to a screen where I confirm that. Again, Metamask popping up at me, just making sure that I want to confirm that. So I'm going to click confirm. It then does its thing behind the scenes, and hopefully very quickly, it brings me to the success screen. And this is something we just recently launched. It's the sort of moment of magic where you finally got the piece. We're experimenting with this new tweet button and really giving an opportunity for buyers to sort of show off about what they've just bought. So with this, you can see the price you bought it at. I'm going to go back to my account, and you can see that is now living there in my collection. And eventually, when Alicia has these prints ready to go, I will be able to redeem this for it to physically be delivered to me, and for me to put it up on my wall here at home. So that is pretty much the overview of Foundation. There is a lot more features and things to it, but I don't want to spend forever talking about them. I just encourage you to go and check it out and have a play around. And yeah, that's all from me.
Excellent. Thank you, Lawrence. That was really great. I really appreciate you showing that. And I want to invite the viewers who are here right now to click down below on the different speakers. If you have questions for Jen on how to integrate DAI with your project, just click there and you can talk to her. Or if you want to talk to Kayvon or Lawrence, you're an artist, you're interested in the platform, you're a collector, and you want to learn more, I invite you to interact with them. This event is precisely about connecting the community and creating possibilities for networking throughout the whole ecosystem. So I really want to thank you again. And yes, let's use the tools that are being created. That's what this is about, making sure that we know what the tools are and that we're actually using them. All right. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.